So let me tell you a little bit of who I am and where I'm coming from. I work with nonprofits and technology. I'm mostly a trainer, and I've been doing that for 28 years now. That's a picture of me in Cambodia last summer, and I was invited by the Cambodian Blogger Summit to come and keynote their conference and to teach Web 2.0 and video blogging and show them how to use all these new cool tools. Problem was, they didn't have any money. So I took to my blog, I went to my social networks, and I raised money to become a sponsor of their conference within a week. And I got over there and talked to them. And the really cool thing was that I was able to get over 300 technology t-shirts donated that I brought over as conference swag. So as you can see it there, that guy there is wearing a Google t-shirt. In Cambodia, they love Google. Let's see. Whoops. That's my blog, and I write about how nonprofits can use social media for social change. And the way I do that is I experiment with the tools. I'm living in the tools, but I'm not just using the tools. I'm having a conversation with other people who run nonprofits about what they're learning, and then I externalize my learning by writing about it and summarizing it on my blog. So enough about me and my blog. I want to tell you a story. Oh, no, you. I want to find out just real quickly, how many of you are with nonprofit organizations? Okay. What types quickly? Just not everybody, would just pop out a few.
Public policy.
Okay.
Media website.
Okay.
International development.
Okay.
Think tank. Think tank.
Think tank.
Foundation. Health advocacy.
Okay. How many of you have a social networking presence that's just you, that's personal? You have a profile on Facebook, or okay. And how many of you have a personal profile on a social networking site and you're also representing your organization? Okay. So tell me about yours.
Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee.
Okay.
So it's my personal profile. It's also.
But you associate the name of your organization on your profile, and you do work on behalf of your organization's behalf using your social networking profile?
Yes, I'm also a blogger. So
okay. Okay, great. And how many of you are saying social networking profile? What's that? That's what? Social networking profile, Facebook. What's that? Okay. How many of you have an organizational presence on a social networking site? Okay. What you have? What is it?
We have the Democrats Facebook page.
Okay. And are you on MySpace or YouTube?
Facebook, MySpace, YouTube.
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah. We just started Twitter 2 days ago.
Okay. All right. Some others?
Pearls of Africa. We're on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay. Great. I just wanted to get a sense of the audience. So when I'm saying social networking, I'm not just talking about my face, as we call it. I'm talking about object sharing social networking sites like Flickr, YouTube. I'm also talking about social presence, such as Twitter, and something called Friends Feed, which is the future. So I asked Mika on Twitter this morning what I should talk about. And originally I had this presentation. I was going to show you all these different organizational examples on social networking sites, and Mika said, they're all fake facades. If you click 2 steps in, there's no human activity. So the question is, you can put up a Facebook profile, but can you engage people? Can you make it work for you? And a lot of what I heard this morning about that it's now bottom up, not top down. It's your network. It's about the network, stupid. The network's more important than your list. I decided to tell you a story. Okay, and here we go. For the last year and a half or so, I have raised over $200,000 for orphans in Cambodia. Just me, myself, and I. Through 5 different campaigns that have used just a bottom-up approach and have just used social networking tools. So I'm going to tell you a story about the last one. I came in first place in the America's Giving Challenge for Global. I raised $93,000. I'm going to tell you how I did it. The organization that I was raising money for is the Sharing Foundation, and they do poverty reduction programs in Cambodia. A lot of education, scholarships, etc. And that's the, that's the organizational look. So on December 13th, this contest opened, and the idea was it was going to be this huge experiment with, can you raise money for a cause using these social networking tools? And you could either set up a charity badge, or you could set up a cause on Facebook, but there were all different ways that you could do this. So on December 13th at 3 p.m., the challenge started, and it was going to be a 30-day challenge. So on December 13th at 3:01 p.m., I opened my kimono. And what that meant is I'm a blogger. I've been blogging for about 5 years. I put out a blog post sharing my strategy with the community that I had built on my blog. Not everything, but I had some questions. And it was kind of a scary thing to do. I'm not just showing my hand to the other side. What has happened, and I've used this technique in every campaign that I've run, it's helped me identify my super evangelists, my super activists, and also my audience, my readers are a heck of a lot smarter than I am, and they gave me great ideas that I think led me to the championship. And I couldn't have done it if I hadn't done that first step of kind of being transparent. So then, I'm thinking about my strategy. I made it personal. I didn't do the institutional boilerplate message. And this comes from theory of the psychology of influence. So the idea is that I'm not going to go out and and blast out the institutional boilerplate. I'm going to go to my friends and I'm going to ask them to support this wonderful charity. And they're going to do it because, they like me. They trust me. Or maybe we have some sort of shared experience. Maybe they have an adopted kid. Maybe maybe they're interested in Cambodia. So when I talk about it, when I ask for money, this is the way I do it. Okay, that's my family. And you can see those are my 2 children, Sarah and Harry. And as you can see, they were adopted from Cambodia. That's what they look like in the orphanage that's managed by the Sharing Foundation. That's what they look like today. They're happy, they have medical care, they have plenty of food, and as my son Harry likes to point out, they have their own Creative Commons t-shirts and their own laptops. But there are other children, like Sanine, who don't have those opportunities and are back in Cambodia. Sanine's 13. She's an orphan. She's the head of our household. She's able to support her 2 younger sisters because of the Sharing Foundation's vocational program and education program that sends them to school. And that's why I'm passionate about this charity. So it's a message that's personal and from the heart. Probably stuff that you all know about in terms of fundraising and getting your message out there, making it personal. But the question is, with social networking sites, does it scale? How do you scale this without blasting out your message? Okay, this is, I'm sure everybody in this room knows about this theory. It's the ladder of engagement. How many of you have seen this before? Nope? Okay, this is, it's actually a hack that I put together from reading several other colleagues. And it's basically that people go from happy bystander up to a point of being an evangelist or an instigator for your cause. And what you need to do is to do different techniques to bring them through those different phases. And what you want to do is get as many evangelists as possible who are going to turn around and take your message and ask their friends on your behalf. And the way that happens is with something called the 3 R's and also a network weaver. And in this case, I was the network weaver. Another strategy I used was stories. I have a blog. I have a pretty large subscribership. So what I wanted to do was to blog a story about a kid every day that was related to the cause. The next thing I wanted to write about were about the supporters and the evangelists and how they went through these different phases and what they were doing and to reward them. And the third thing I needed to do, because my audience are nonprofit professionals who want to know how to use social media for social change, and if I just wrote about my charity, they get really annoyed and leave. So what I did was I embedded all my learning in those stories. Each story had something that I learned, some insight that I gained from implementing this campaign. So here are the 3 R's of network weaving. And remember, the network weaver brings people from innocent bystander, happy bystander, up to evangelist. So the 3 R's are relationship building. I know this is hard to, it's all about one-on-one and meeting people where they're at. It's about giving rewards, giving attention, listening to them, paying attention. And it's about reciprocity because people treat you like you treat them. So let me show you an example of this in this campaign. I had many. You saw my children wearing a Creative Commons t-shirt, and you also know that I got Creative Commons t-shirts donated, and I brought them over to Cambodia, and look, there is a young kid in the orphanage with a photo of wearing Creative Commons t-shirts that I blogged about. And, but it didn't stop there. I've been a supporter of Creative Commons. I participated in their campaign. We won the Creative Commons photo contest with that photo. And when it came time, when I needed them, they leveraged their network on Facebook on my behalf for the campaign. But it didn't stop there. It didn't stop at, please help me with my campaign. It's continued. This young woman who I met on Facebook, who is a Cambodian, her father is a human rights leader in Cambodia. And I actually blogged about him when he was thrown in jail. And she wants to be a lawyer, and she was coming to the United States. I introduced her, through my network, helped her find some people at the University of Minnesota, and in return, she's starting the Creative Commons chapter for in Cambodia, to port the license to Cambodia. So it's all about this kind of relationship building and then leveraging their networks. More strategies. So all the while, this was a 30-year, it felt like 30 years, but it was a 30-day campaign. So we used fun, humor, easy, you have to make it easy for people to participate. A little bit of urgency, the competitive spirit from the competition, and passion. Passion really worked. So what's more fun than a birthday party? So this was early in the campaign. It was going to be my birthday, January 11th. So on my Facebook status, right up there, I let people know what I wanted for my birthday. Can I get, 51 people, it was going to be my 51st birthday, to donate $10. And they listened. They started leaving messages on my wall. They started donating early before my birthday. All of a sudden, I'm getting birthday cards. And also in Cambodian. People are writing on my walls. And even the guy who I was competing against, he wished me happy birthday. I went out on YouTube and I tested different videos. My kids made different videos. And I tested funny, I tested heart-rendering, and actually funny kind of worked in this instance. And my son is saying, it's up to you because we don't have a credit card. You need to donate. $10 to this campaign. And if you can see, 2 people actually left comments, and this particular person, because I've spent a lot of time on YouTube finding out who's interested in nonprofits and making friends with them. This guy has a very active network, 2,600. He thought the video was so great in the campaign that he sent that out to his network of 2,600 people, to donate $10 to the campaign. I also twittered about it, and this launched the blog campaign that I got all my friends who were bloggers to agree to start writing about the campaign, and that kind of launched it. And again, I used photos. There's a photo of me having a birthday. That's all the kids in the orphanage having a birthday. I put it out on Facebook, and this is a note card on Facebook. And what you see going down the side there is something called tags. You can actually tag people. And I just didn't tag anybody. I tagged my evangelists. These people, some of them I know offline, some of them I'd met through Facebook. For example, you'll see a couple of Cambodian names. I met a Cambodian guy, Cambodian American, who was from Jewish University, who found me. We connected. I gave him materials, and he went off and recruited his 400 friends. He built a group for us, and he was actually going across campus asking for people to donate $10 to this campaign. N10, the network of nonprofit technologists, blog the happy birthday. Over at Net Squared, each of these were professional networks that got, I'm leveraging networks here. It's a network of networks. And are you kind of wondering where those stupid pictures came from of me? Well, when when I turned 50, I had a Flickr photo remix birthday card contest, and I put the most ridiculous pictures of me on Flickr, and I said, go at it. And I was really, really relieved because, you know, there were some really embarrassing pictures of me on Flickr, and I was just so relieved that no one used them. Would you click on that? Well, there it is, the naked picture of me on Flickr. And again, the photo on Flickr also carried my message. Flickr has a huge community, many, many different groups where people are taking pictures of Cambodia and Cambodian life. And I have been not asking them for money, but first getting to know who they are. And so when I put this out, I was able to then send my, contact those friends that I had made that were really interested in Cambodia who came along for the cause. So, good old-fashioned grassroots online organizing. So some metrics. I had 125 people donated, and I had 142 birthday wishes, and 180 views on the Click on Me Naked picture. Let's see if we can. Okay, so I had 20 more days to go in this campaign, and I didn't want to have donor fatigue, and I didn't want people to get really annoyed and get turned off, because after if you just ask for money all the time, they turn off. So I kept my strategy up of blogging, stories about the kids, and I had a lot of T-shirts that I'd given out, so I had a lot of stories, and each one of those T-shirts is linked to a person who's linked to a network. And it wasn't just stories about T-shirts. I also engaged other bloggers in conversations that related to Cambodia, to their topic. This one is about teaching in rural Cambodia, where I engaged the educational technology bloggers who then spun this out to their network. And this is the kind of thing that was happening. I think we would be blogging, it would go out on Facebook, I would Twitter it, and we'd be getting the message out there and donations over to into the campaign. And once I fell into second place, third place, and then fourth place, and I wanted to be first place, so I had a tweet up. I asked all my network on Twitter to retweet my message, and that gave it an energizing burst and got me back up into first place. I even learned how to the art of solicitation on Twitter, sort of one-on-one asking for money. Basically, we didn't have a PayPal, and if you have geeks in your audience, they're too lazy to get up from their desks. They want PayPal. They don't want to get up from their desks and find their wallets. So, but I managed to get a few to do that. There was also an offline portion, and one of my colleagues was at a conference on social media, and he actually put in his PowerPoint some information about the campaign. And I didn't know about it until people started tweeting me and asking me where they could donate. And of course, there was the traditional offline component, because the traditional part of the board of the Sharing Foundation isn't on social networks. They're all using email, they're older, and they're in the Rotary clubs, and they're golfing buddies. So they were taking that message to their constituents in that way. So here I am, 24 hours before the contest ends, and we're in first place. And, life is good. But I had to get on an airplane for about 6 hours and deliver a keynote down in Texas. So when I got on the plane, we were in first place. I got off the plane, we dropped into fifth place, which would have meant we were down and out. So the first thing we did was I put that message out there. It's 24 hours, the gloves are off, that's it. It's, the campaign's going, it's the crazy time. So it's like, help us now, the house is burning. So I put that message out, and I just thought, we lost it, that's it, forget it. We're going to lose. And, where's the bar? And what happened was my network started to respond. If you can imagine the Star Wars music, imagine that in the background. The network response came. This guy here, Dr. Mani, he is a friend of a friend in someone else's network. He's a pediatric surgeon in India. He sent this out to 5,000 doctors in India. And now we have all these Indian donors who support, our work. So people set up a fan club for me on Facebook saying, we're not going to let Beth lose. I was getting Twitter messages from followers. We've been following this. We're not going to let you lose. We're going to go out to our networks. And all those kids that I gave T-shirts to in Cambodia, They went off to a network in Asia called High Five and recruited all their friends. I don't even have a profile yet on High Five at that time. I do now. So, and so this was like the last bit. We're going from first down to fifth, up to second. And so I had my bloggers put out the word, you know, we desperately need your help. You know, some asked nicely. And this is my anecdotal evidence that the stories work to engage people. And Jen has a fairly small network, but they're really responsive. And so she said, let's not let her lose. And this must have brought in at the last day I had about 800 or 900 donations come in the last couple hours. And it was a lot of little efforts just like this. And this is somebody, I'm not going to read this because it gets kind of racy and it'll get me into trouble. But this is somebody I connected. He's a Silicon Valley investor. I happened to meet him on Facebook. We connected over, of all topics, metrics. And at the last minute, I was IMing people. I was watching my status report on Facebook. And when I saw a friend online, I would IM them and say, help, I need your help, I need your help. And so he said, sure, I'll help you. And so he put this challenge out to he's an investor, and he said anybody who goes out and gets 10 people to donate to this campaign, I'll do a third quarter lunch with you, which means that, you know, he's the money guy. So that happened. I did a Twitter countdown towards the end of the campaign because we were neck and neck with another group. You know, come on, and people were following this on Twitter, and finally we came in first place. And so we won $50,000 for a cause. And everybody, all my friends on Facebook poked me. I got like 300 pokes, and whoop, whoop, we won. And the kids in Cambodia put their hands together and said, Agun, which means thank you in Cambodian. So the lessons learned here are open the kimono, make it personal, you know, use that ladder of engagement. Stories, stories, stories. Don't forget the 3 R's. It's about fun, humor, making it easy for people to participate, some urgency and the competitive spirit, and really saying thank you in creative ways.